No, seriously.
Yeah.
The condom had something in it. I didn't taste test it, so I don't know. I wasn't going to do that.
If you did taste it, would you know?
Of course I would. You wouldn't? Really? How many years have we known each other?
We've known each other 20 years this year.
Holy,
It was
You would know that the exact.
holy fucking
20
shit.
years. So this is what happened in 1998. I actually bought his program when I was 18 years old, Black Belt magazine, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And a little under a year later, I was on a stage in a teenage bodybuilding show. Last thing I ever thought I would have been doing in bikini and, shaved legs and all that shit. It was totally something unexpected. But I took his program, and this is where we're going to get into today's discussion, because we talk about the fake news. Well, Leo, back in those days, Leo was exposing the fake news in muscle magazines. There was a lot of fake news there. And Leo came along. He was kind of like, the President Trump of bodybuilding. Let's look at it that way. He was saying some stuff. Probably people didn't like him. I don't know if as much as President Trump. I don't know if he got some flack from the industry. Leo can answer that, or threats or people who wanted to shut him up.
Yeah, I got flack. I got a lot of flack.
A lot of people who didn't like him. But then I wrote him a letter. I was taking a product he released called Serious Growth. Critical Mass from OTS. So I wrote him a letter. I figured he wouldn't get back. I was on the low carb diet. I said, how do I take this and stay within carb things? And 12 days later, he wrote me a letter back. And then I had been a certified personal trainer and was going to move out to California. So my mother said, why don't you, call this guy to see if there's a job out there. So I called OTT, and lo and behold, he answered. And then I came out there. I've known Leo, so I knew Leo before he's married to Teeny, when he was with a girlfriend before then. That's how far back we go. Stacy.
Oh my God.
Stacy, yes, I remember that. That was way back when. That was in the Leo was in a different era then, the goatee era, not wearing suits, sweatpants, and
Was that the homeless Leo?
Yeah, homeless me.
That was the sweatpants Leo. That was the not. He was actually. I'm going to tell a story. Tom Platz actually told me once when I met him. He goes, that fucking Leo. He has how many OTS shirts does he have? He's like a fucking walking billboard. I had to fight with him to buy a goddamn sports coat. To tell him, look, you're making all this money. Why don't you, that's what he told me. He's like, I had to tell him, that. Enough of it. We know you've got a book out. He goes, I think every shirt that he owned had Big Beyond Belief or OTS.
Oh, you got to advertise.
Logo, yeah. But then I met him.
Hey, Joe, I want you to know something. There are 20 years. You've outlasted my marriages so far.
I've outlasted, yeah.
Not combined.
But you. It's like, and you've outlasted my engagement. That was you've outlasted most. Actually. This is how we started. I had a girlfriend back when I was 19, and I told her at the time I had a budget. We could only go out on so many dates because OTS was coming out with more supplements, and I had to buy that. And my Big Beyond Belief commitment was more important than you, because I told her at the time we'll never last, and we didn't. And, but Big Beyond Belief is forever. That would,
So what does that say? I think you're a little bit twisted. Hey,
we're all a little bit twisted, Leo.
Let me ask you. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Then when did you come out? Because the next thing I know, you were on my doorstep.
2000.
What's that?
I came out in March of 2000, and we met in Hanford. You picked me up at the train station in Hanford.
Fuck, I don't remember that shit.
You just remember him being at your front door.
Don't take that personal, but I just don't. Maybe it was my strokes. Wipe that part of my brain.
It was you met me, and you had a pit bull in the back of your truck. You had a pit bull at the time.
Jesus. Oh yeah. Her name is Shuva. She looked like a pit bull.
Shuva. I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
she was the sweetest dog ever, but she was I believe, a pit bull. And you were living in Visalia at the time, a 2-story house, because I came over to your house and with Stacy and her 2 kids.
Joe, are you confusing me with somebody else? I only lived in a 2-story house when I was married to the first one.
No, you lived in a 2-story house.
Really?
Yes. You were doing work outside on it. You were like you're trying to fix the rail, and yeah, you lived in a 2-story house. Now you're in.
Doesn't sound like me.
What?
I'm not I'm not a handyman. Fixing a rail?
You were fixing some bricks outside. You were laying bricks outside.
Okay, laying bricks sounds like you.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Living in
Visalia,
Visalia
2 kids.
And you weren't with Tina yet? What was going on?
No, that was in the pre. I think he had met Teeny, but they weren't like a couple, like that was 2 years later they got married.
Are you having a lapse of memory?
I know. I'm like, you never told me about this little part of
I know. Life. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was in fact when I came out the first time, you had the other studio on in Visalia, OTT. It was a Guaranteed Fitness Plus. It was a little bit bigger on Lovers Lane.
Yeah.
We were in the office, and you tried to call Tom Platz to see if you would meet me in LA. I went back later that week. That didn't happen. I met Tom 2 years later in Miami. But yeah, we met. And as a matter of fact, when we met, Titan was about to come out. And you asked me at the time, you're like, we're doing a new book, Serious Growth 4. What do you think of the title of Titan? I said, that's a good idea. And 4 months later, that book came out.
Well, I have to tell you, and for the people that are listening to this, you not only are you a loyal fan, you've been a loyal friend, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate, you were the guy. But it goes both ways. When I tore my oblique 2 years ago, at the gym, I was in Vegas. I remember that in the morning, and they asked me. They said, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, someone's like, "You're gonna call a doctor?" No, I called you, and you said, look, the body becomes its function. Don't be a pussy. Go back to training. Just lower everything. And I was doing the ramp program, and and as a true serious growther, even though I tore my oblique, I finished that set of deadlifts.
Nice.
And then after the workout, then I called you up, and I'm like, okay, I think I tore something. What do we do? And you're like, well, body becomes its function. Like I told you, just keep doing, just take all the weight off the bar, so I had to sit in the recovery section of the gym for a week, which most of these people at fake gyms, it's, that's, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Most of these fuckers don't even train. It's like a goddamn participation trophy. I mean,
it makes me throw up my mouth. I throw up my mouth all the time.
Out in Vegas, I said, come to my gym, and Leo will give you a raise when you see the fake trainers here. Videotape it, send it to Leo, but warn him so he doesn't have another stroke. And he sees this shit going on, and you will be, because I mean, it's like it's like fake trainer. There are trainers who actually are on Facebook messaging chicks while they're training people. This is the type of crap, I shit you not, that's going on in today's gym society. I said that's why we have to come up with Make America Fit Again. Take a note of that, Cara. So the next level fitness, Make America Fit Again, and then Make America Huge Again for the bodybuilding people, because that's what's going on. But you exposed. You were Trump before there was Trump. You were exposing the fake news in training. The warm ups and all that other shit.
It took a while to get
magazines with the original media, the original fake news.
It took a while to get used to all the hate mail, the white mail. The worst one I got that I still remember today was somebody sent me a condom in the mail. Believe it or not, these fucking idiots out there. They sent me a condom in
used or not used.
It appeared to be. This is shit in it. No, seriously. Yeah. The condom had something in it. I didn't taste test it, so I don't know. I wasn't going to do that.
If you did, would you know?
But what?
If you did taste it, would you know?
Of course I would. You wouldn't? Really? Fucking pussy.
I think there's a difference.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure there's a difference.
A difference with what?
I want to say there's a difference out of the two that you're saying.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I don't think we're on the same book right
What did you mean?
If you never mind.
You're opening
anyway, so I got a condom. It looked like it had cum in it, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
But I didn't taste test is what I was telling you. Hold on, Joe.
Okay, yeah, let's go back then.
Okay,
So if you
go ahead.
the condom and drink it, you'd be like, yeah, come.
I could tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't been around long enough. I have perfect fucking willingness.
Perfect willingness. That's
What the
what
fuck,
it's all
Joe?
about.
It's fucking
Yes.
cool. They're all young. They're like in their 20s. They're fucking young, inexperienced, don't have
I was
perfect
probably-
willingness.
when I met you, Cara was probably like a toddler. So
Yeah, no
you
shit.
Or in elementary school.
Sometimes the
but,
way she acts right now, she's
Shut up.
acts like a toddler.
20 years ago, I was 8. So,
yeah, 8. So 8. Yeah.
You look
so
a lot older than that.
Oh, thank you. Because I've been around you for too long.
No. Hey, Joe.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Joe, my question is this: I've really been fascinated with you in this way. I know that you're pretty political.
Yeah.
I know you worked with campaigns. Is that right? I want to find out
Yes.
more about what you do because I find it interesting. You're a pollster, right?
Well, at this particular company, I started working with them during the pandemic. And what they did was we would poll people in conservative races. And what we found was true that in this race, a lot of people didn't want to, that shy voter. The Trump voters, the Biden people would come out and they're a bunch of miserable bastards. But, we all know that. But the Trump people, they're very shy, especially in Visalia and Tulare. They don't want people to know. In fact, one of the ladies I polled, her in-laws come to the studio. Because after that was done, she's like, well, can I ask you who you voted for? I said Trump. And then, I came out and I softened her up a bit. And then she came right out and said it. And I said, and now I'm going to give you a free training session over at, Jeep. She's like, oh, Leo, I know that guy. My in-laws go there. I'm like, okay. And just to to soften you up, Leo's a Trump guy too. So don't, you're not walking into some liberal hellhole there. We're all, patriots there. So, but
So-
no.
So
Go ahead.
tell me, Joe, is this the type of job where you're on the phone mostly, or
On the phone.
are you on boots on the ground? Because I know a couple times you've called me. You've been on the road. You were last time.
So I did both.
Ohio.
So in 2016, I worked with the president in Las Vegas. Then in 2018, I worked in the governor's race in Las Vegas. In Reno. In Las Vegas first, then in Reno, Nevada, which is northern Nevada, up there. So, but yeah, so I've worked in on the ground and I've done on the phone. And, people nowadays, it's really, there's that pressure because of what people see in the fake media, that if you're a Trump supporter, you must be a racist, you must be a misogynist, you must be, in other words, all the stereotypes. So people are very reluctant. As a matter of fact, one of your former clients who's at the gym, Cara's still friends with him on Facebook, former client who used to be with the police force. He actually had 3 signs stolen from his property, and then he would just get another Trump sign and put it out, and was telling me about that. As a matter of fact, in your area, there were some ballots stolen about a month ago in Tulare County.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, there was theft there, but so what we would do as pollsters is ask, number one, about the president's race, and then how you feel about issues. And I'll tell you, this is where, like, okay, the 18-year-olds, there was a law in the California ballot that asked if you believe that that felons should be released from prison because of this COVID shit. They're now releasing hardcore criminals onto the streets, right? So I asked this 18-year-old girl, I'm like, so do you think that hardcore criminals, and I explained it out, meaning people who have done rape, meaning people who have been violent towards women, and it's been proven, do you believe that they should be erased? And she's like, well, I have to think about that. And then the second question was, what are your thoughts about socialism? I don't know. It might be a good idea. And I'm like, holy shit, her parents should have wore a fucking condom. Speaking of condoms, where her mom should have swallowed, because that's what's going. The youth, no, and she was in Fresno, of course. Now that's the funny thing. Difference between Visalia, Tulare, and then you have
Fresno,
Exeter. No, but there's a town in between there. I'm trying to think of what
Farmersville.
It is. Not Hanford. I've
Farmersville.
people from there. It's from the 559, but it's on the way to. It's outside of Visalia by Fresno.
That could be
Clovis.
Sanger.
Clovis.
Clovis. That's right next to Fresno.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
hotels are right
So
next to each other, but
Visalia,
I think they're all
Tulare,
different.
yeah, Visalia, Tulare, and you would think so. It's like they're normal people. They're patriots. They're, you know, Second Amendment, scared shitless. They wanted to concede from the state in 2018 when they were talking about turning California into 3 states, which would have been a good idea because then you guys don't have to pay the taxes that LA people,
Yeah.
you know, the state taxes and all that. So they were for that. But when you go to like Fresno, it's like Moscow on the Sea, a totally different area. I mean,
Yeah,
some
they're
weird,
real liberal.
and half of them, you know, you'll pick up the phone and it's like hola, hola, and it's like, come on, you know, I'm not going to sound like Biden here and go, come on, man, but
Hey,
it's like with this,
Joe, I have a question for you.
yeah.
How many times do you get hung up on or really pissed? How do you start? If you're going to call Cara or Charlie, how would you walk me through that? I want to know how that. Let's just do a little.
So
you're calling those two to do call Cara to do a poster. Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah. Ring.
Okay.
Hi, hold on. Ring.
Hello.
Hi, is Cara Hicks available?
Yes, this is she.
Hi, Cara. My name is Joe. I'm calling with Easy Politics. I wanted to see if you had a few minutes to answer some questions about some of the things that are going on right now, currently nationwide.
I'm really busy right now.
Do you have just 30 seconds of your time?
Okay, I have 30 seconds.
Okay, fantastic. So in the upcoming, what is your opinion of how Governor Gavin Newsom is performing as governor of California and doing during this crisis?
I think he's fabulous.
Okay. He just fucking.
No. You go from there. Okay.
Shit.
Joe, okay. No, I've gotten that. So what is your opinion about Nancy Pelosi?
I think that she is just an angel and is going to do so many good things for us.
Okay. I was just curious how you introduced yourself. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, so we have a script for all of these. Now, to be honest, I go a little bit off the script because some of the people in politics, here's the thing. I found that they don't have a lot of common sense in dealing with a lot of, like the regular person. So you have to be able to engage with a regular person. You know, it's a lot like trainers out there. A lot of trainers are, you know, when I see them talking to people, they don't know how to, they come up with these like impossible diets, or they aren't very user friendly. Okay. And so a lot of these people in politics, they write things based on how they feel politically. In other words, they're political nerds, and they don't really adapt well to the average person. You know, they don't. And so you have to kind of make it into a way that people would relate. Kind of like with, you know, you said sometimes with like the OTS books, how you were brought into it. Well, not to give too much away, but a new book that you guys are working on, and you kind of made it more user friendly, shall we say?
Yeah. So well, I would think that to be in your line of work, you'd have to be good on your feet and be able to adapt to the person that you're talking to.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, Joe, can you move your beautiful face into the screen more? Not that close, for fuck's sake. Can you go
there we go. That's a little scary.
Can you go that way? There we go.
Okay.
So that's like I would imagine you'd have to have that ability to adapt on the fly.
Yes, exactly. Just like a trainer does. I mean, it's really no different. You have to adapt, and you have to do these calls and deal with people in a way like you would with as a personal trainer, which I've done, you know, both. So it's the same thing. And that's the difference between people who are really good at this and people who aren't. And I'll give you an example of how this would, like a lot of bodybuilders who become personal trainers are really horrible personal trainers. And here's why: because they only can identify with their experience as a competitor, and they expect their clients to be at a level that they are. I've run into tons of friends of mine who I've trained with over the years who were horrible personal trainers because they didn't understand how the average person thought. And so myself, you know, coming from a background where I was overweight and I'm, you know, not in my best of shape now to get back there, but that's what that's how you identify with people where they're at. And, you know, that's what to do in politics. You have to assume that not everyone is a political nerd who watches Newsmax. Well, Fox News now is down the tube, so forget them. But these other stations and reads books and blogs and things of that nature. And it's pretty much. Oh, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of it, doing this stuff, a lot of it is what I learned from bodybuilding, from personal training, from you, and being able to adapt with you know with other people, and relating it and tailoring that pitch to the client that I'm dealing with, and knowing how the lingo is. Like I could tell if I'm talking to how when we ask about Pelosi or what you think the current state of California is, that's kind of like a way to segue into Trump. Like if someone's like, if they love Gavin Newsom and they love Nancy Pelosi, chances are, they're all for communism and socialism, and chances are they're going to, go for Biden. And
Yeah.
if they're a little suspicious on the other end, like an older person, I find that what do you want? What's the deal? Okay, those people tend to be for Trump because their guard is up. They think I'm some type of libtard who's going to judge them harshly. And then when I, hey, I understand where you're coming from, and I put my cards on the table. I was just calling, and then the guard comes down a little bit.
Yeah. Are you? Is there a difference between talking to a female or a male as far as how you're received, besides politically?
Yeah. Well, a lot of guys, because my voice is like very, very deep, and because of the presence, guys automatically the guard is up. And if I ask for like the wife, let's say I ask for Cara, and her husband or boyfriend or whatever asks, it's like, what do you want? What's the because the guard's up, because I have a very deep type of voice, and they're like, think I'm some guy who's trying to move in on them. And
yeah,
but no, I've got that, but that's the thing, and so when so with women though, sometimes they're like they get a little with women, it's like a little bit easier to get into the door. But I could say this though, when now petitioning and doing door knocking and stuff like that, people are a little bit, because smaller people tend to do better. Guys who are, thinner, slighter. I mean, if you're a bigger guy, and and depending on what time of year it is and how I look, it's that could be a disadvantage.
How many times? How many calls do you have to make before you get an answer? Because I know I don't answer my phone unless I know who
either.
it is. I don't. Yeah. So
we get.
How many phone calls? How many phone calls do you think you're making in a day, or do you have to have?
And why haven't I gotten these phone calls?
The machine that I'm working with, what we have is called an automated dialer. So I work on some campaigns. I probably in the last few weeks, depending, in 8 hours. As a whole, though, I work with a team, so not just by myself. So I can't say me personally, but the group of people I work with, we probably make maybe 10,000 calls in 8 hours.
Holy shit!
How have I not had any of these calls?
What?
How have I never had any of these calls? Have you had a call like this?
Because here's why. I'm going to explain it. People that they believe are going to vote conservative, they do not. Like, I haven't gotten any calls myself during this whole campaign. And why? Because I've always voted Republican. And if you look at my social media, I mean, I don't give a fuck if people are offended. I'm right out there. And
something right there before I forget, that tells you how much intel people are gathering about society, because like you were saying, they know from your social media. So you've got a group. You also obviously you have a group of people that are out there that are just studying this type of data. Is that right?
Exactly. And Facebook, I'll tell you this: Facebook, Instagram, there is a lot of censoring. I had a friend last night, as a matter of fact, he called you last year. He was in Ohio about Ray Boom Boom Mancini when he wanted to get him on the show. His Facebook was taken down because he's a Trump supporter. Instagram, a guy that I follow a lot, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a plug, David Nino Rodriguez.
I haven't heard of him.
Excellent guy on Instagram. I recommend everybody go to his posts. He's going to be coming out with a network next week called ninoscorner.tv. So we might want to tag him in this when this post goes up. But they've taken him off of Instagram 2 times. They've taken him off of Facebook. They wiped out his whole account because he's talking about things that are going on that the average person doesn't realize. And this is where politics is a lot like bodybuilding, because it's like a mirage. The mainstream media paints a picture that they want you to know. And the average person, they're working 9 to 5. They don't really think in terms of these things. And it was like that in the 90s and in the 90s in the muscle magazines, I believed a lot of that shit because I was 18 or 19 years old. And then what happened was when I, got older, I met you, I met Tom. I trained at the same gym that Jay Cutler was. And I saw that, okay, what the mainstream media, the muscle magazines are telling me is not true. These guys don't do as many sets as what they say. They don't do train exactly like they say in the magazines, but they're trying to paint a picture. And there's actually Tom Platz told me once, he said, that's how we sell magazines. Weederland wants you to wants you to have this image. And that's why they operate in the way that they do, because we want kids like you to go to the gym to believe the hype, which people of my age, we bought into it. It was vitamins, it was Hulk Hogan, say your prayers. And that's why, people that come out, that say things that are against the narrative, like Leo and Dr. Horine, when they did the serious growth articles in Iron Man, it was very controversial because, you were told you must warm up. You have to do X amount of sets. You have to work out 2 hours a day. And if you don't do these things, you can't possibly get results. Yet here I was at 19, defying and beating people that were in this sport for like 20 years and not knowing how the fuck I was doing it. I was just reading a book and I'd pass them that and they said, there's no way you could possibly doing this. You must be using some enhancements. You must be, because it's impossible that you could be putting this much on your bench each and every week. It's impossible that you could go to the gym and not warm up. And that's the same thing with, President Trump and the narrative, because the left paints this narrative that, that President Trump is this misogynist guy that, and in this election, this is why the pollsters are under narrative, because they've been painting this narrative for months that there's no way that President Trump could win. There's no way. Everyone hates him. It's going to be electoral landslide. They've been putting these polls up for months that were totally not true. And I know this from talking to people. People don't want to say that they are a Trump supporter because of the fear of backlash, like this lady that, maybe signed up with Cara. I don't know. But she was afraid of backlash. And then when I said, calm down, ma'am, I'm a Trump supporter too. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Then, then she wouldn't shut the hell up. She started off, I've got 2 minutes, and I ended up talking with her for 45 minutes. Now,
yeah. You gonna say something, Charlie?
Do you guys think that's just the people you're around? I don't know anyone that's not a Trump supporter.
Yeah, but that's
not, no.
So every person you know is a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Like overly loud about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's in Vasily and Tulare. Leo and I, so this is a story. I came out 3 years ago for the Stroke Warrior thing, and I'm wearing the Make America Great hat again. And Leo says to me, we're in LA, and he's like, oh, fuck, Joe, can you take that off? I'm like, no, you're the president of Fight Fast, and if shit goes down, you've released enough fucking videos, we're going to handle business like serious growthers. I'm not taking the hat off, and I don't give a shit if people are offended or not. They can kiss my MAGA ass. And that's it. But in Visalia, though, me and Leo were having a coffee in Starbucks, and this cop comes up, he goes, I love your hat. And every other person, and they're like, do I know you, to Leo? And Leo said, well, maybe did you arrest me once or something?
No, you did not.
I don't know.
It was a Saturday morning, and we were
remember that.
Speaking of fake news, we were at Starbucks near a fake gym, In Shape Fitness, Fake Trainer Central.
Is this when you came here for the Stroke Warrior?
Yes. We were at the stroke thing, and then we came to your house later on. But no, me and Leo were out there, and it was like a totally we had that happen, and then you guys got more involved with it. As a matter of fact, the 2018 election, Teeny called me up because she had a question about what was going on in California and how to fill out the ballot. And then Leo calls, and I'm like, Leo's calling. She goes, fuck him. I don't care. She goes, Joe, when I am on the phone, you do not hang up on your mother and me. You always take the call. And I'm like, well, Leo's on. He can fucking wait. I do not care. Sounds like Teeny, if you're watching, I was just, I love you. And that's not a.
No, that's true.
Teeny's actually, if I ever run for office, Teeny is like my press secretary. She's like the Kayleigh McEnany on my team. And this is why, because if, I have questions, I don't want to ask them. I'm just sending Teeny out. She's just going to go, fuck you.
Well, I know, but you may want to reconsider that because she bought 2 guns now.
Yeah.
This fucking bitch has bought 2 guns.
She actually told me that. She told me that she bought 2 guns.
Handgun and a fucking rifle, Joe.
Those are for you.
She said, I can now protect Leo. I'm like, well, I'm glad to know he's going to be. She showed me. She actually texted me the photo of her.
I'm surprised we didn't get a knock on the door.
Yeah, from Newsom. Well, they're not coming to your door now. Forget. She might end up being in a Fight Fest video. Who knows?
Oh God, that's
Bob
funny.
Pierce. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Trump supporters, the funny thing is, Bob Pierce, who now is my Facebook friend, he likes my Trump posts better than the Fight Fest stuff that I actually I post his Fight Fest stuff. No love there. But if it's a Trump thing, he's liking my stuff. It's and he's in the Fight Fest videos.
Hey, as you know, I don't think necessarily that you are, but bodybuilders have a tendency of being narcissistic.
Oh no, I am as well. I'll be honest with you.
Well, but let me say something to you. What's going on now? This has to do with the political environment, how it is right now.
Yes,
is that you've got people that if. In fact, Cara was mentioning this to me this morning. No names are going to be given. Not that I know the name, but I'm just saying the point is this. One of her so-called friends said that she couldn't be her friend any longer because she's a Trump supporter. Now, that to me is the highest form of narcissism.
I've had that myself.
That's way worse than a fucking bodybuilder.
Well,
I can't be your friend because you believe in that.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, I've known this girl since 6th grade.
Holy!
So do the math.
I had a friend of mine block me who I've known since we were 12 years old. 12 years old, and he's a hardcore lib. He's actually from California originally, from Torrance, California. So
I picked bad friends.
And no, Cara, don't feel bad. I had the same thing happen. A friend of mine, 12 years old. Since I've known him since I was 12. I actually stopped him from getting his ass kicked several times.
Wow.
Several times. And
okay, I got you, so I'm good.
Yeah, so now he blocks me on Facebook. Now and this is how liberals are. He talks shit on Facebook. I've known him since he was 12. He couldn't break an egg. Okay, the guy couldn't fight his weight of a paper bag. I actually used to have to pick him up off the ground when he'd get knocked out of clubs, and But anyway, so he talks like he's some Antifa guy on Facebook, and me and my other buddy who's a Trump supporter, I'm like, look at this idiot, and then he meets me in Vegas like 3 years ago, and he posts this stuff about Trump, and he's like, listen, man, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't see that shit. And I'm like, it's all right. I didn't see it. I'm not gonna, because we've gotten into it a few times. We've almost come close to blows, but no, he's but that happens a lot. The left is like totally it's crazy. I mean, it's and it's funny, but I'll tell you what's funny is like you see a lot of in the bodybuilding community, a lot of retired bodybuilders you're finding her for Trump, including, I told you the other day, I was shocked. One of our personal mentors, both yours and mine, is now fully on the Trump train.
Yeah, I know you told me about that. Pretty shocking.
And I messaged him and I said, okay, that's I guess because, well, at his age, because he's like 65, he just doesn't care if people are, he's not like.
Yeah, when you get up in age like that, you get like that. All of a sudden, you don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, you get, and it's like, it's funny, the older you get, like I'm basically turning into my father right now. It's kind of scary, but I am.
Yeah.
And Jim Goodwin, who actually messaged me before this stroke patient, he goes, he said, Leo is turning into his father. It's scary. He goes,
how the fuck does he know that?
What?
How the fuck does he know that? Did you know my dad?
Because he trained with your dad 30 plus years ago. So
I got a lot of fucking blank spots in my. Woo!
Yeah, no, I mean, no, he trained with your dad back in the 80s. I guess your dad had some type of doing training for a while.
That I do remember. I forgot.
Yeah, and Jim was one of his clients. And he said, whereas Leo would be more diplomatic, his father just didn't give a shit. And he would just tell me, straight out, to, if you don't like it, and he said, Leo is he goes, but the older that Leo gets, he's getting like, He's turning into. I said, I know. That's why I call him the angriest man in fitness. He's like Rhonda. He's the Vince Rhonda. He's the angry dad that we need to kick us in the nuts and get us going in 2000.
That's right, Joe. Very good. I agree. Hey, you know what?
I told you 2 years ago. You need to step it up. Be like Vince with Vince Rhonda. Give a and this is another parallel between
step it up more. Joe, really? You really think he needs to step it up more? I can barely handle what he's doing now.
No, you mean he means on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vince was the
I feel like you're pretty there.
No, well, you know, in 94, 95, like when he was doing the anabolic diet, he was a lot more, you know, like mellow, like, well, you have a really good program. We think if you guys give this a chance, you know, you're going to be shocked by the results that you get. We're getting later, but it's a lot more nice. And, you know, like everyone, in fact, when Leo first met me, he said, you know, I would think about bringing you into the gym as a trainer, but, he goes, but I got to be honest, even though you're a bodybuilder, I actually would, you know, consider bringing you into the gym because you're not like the typical, because when I told him I was a bodybuilder at that point in the 90s, he did not want to have bodybuilder personal trainers in his gym.
No, he's still like that. He's still like that. Like we have zero bodybuilders in our gym.
Yeah. You've got some pretty hardcore people. I've been on Instagram. There's that girl, Nancy, her name?
Oh, the powerlifter.
Oh,
Nancy.
yes.
Yeah, she's killing it. She's training with Jose. And I think, you know, I told Jose, you'd better step it up or I'm going to have to hire her as my training partner. You know, you're not, you're going to have to, because she's out squatting you, Jose. There's a.
Oh, that's not saying much.
Well,
Cara's out squatting Jose.
That's, you know, that's like, you know, but
hey,
no,
okay. Back on the serious note on politics. I'm going to go there a little bit more. We're going to have to wrap it up here pretty quick. Cara's giving me the finger, the circular finger, like she's fucking rushing me. Like she's got some shit better to do than this. What the fuck's wrong with her? Yeah, no, just don't go like this. Charlie, let's go.
It's toxic masculinity.
You got some shit to do.
I'm the timer person. I mean, we could keep going all day long.
Anyway,
you know we could do that.
You don't have to fucking
shut up. Shut up.
You don't have to start making excuses. Fuck that, Joe.
Yeah,
you know, I'm 65. I'm the same age as that person that we've been referring to.
Yeah,
and I got to tell you. You know, I think that this is the most worried that I've been about where our country is to this point. Some scary shit. And I don't like it. Fucking, I don't like it.
It is. But here's the thing. Rest assured, guys, President Trump is going to win in the end. And here's why. Because the media right now, what they're doing is trying to make it look like Biden is the winner in the mainstream media. Okay. What's going to happen is he's going to go to the court. Okay, and this is why Amy Coney Barrett was so important to confirm, because she's going to be the judge that puts this over. He's going to win it in the court. The media is trying to push this like crazy. Last night in Nevada, they found they had a press conference. They found like fraudulent ballots in Michigan. They were telling people to post state ballots for November the 3rd. Yesterday, in Georgia, they're trying. In Pennsylvania, if you watch. You got to go to David Nino Rodriguez is a really good source, One America Network, and Newsmax TV. Fox News is dead. I told you that a year ago when we were talking to John Tantillo.
Yeah, they've gotten soft.
Fox, but Newsmax is where it's at. And also your other company, Fight Fast, TRS, they advertise right now with Newsmax because, you know, with the self-defense stuff, they're selling a lot of product there. So that's going to be, as a matter of fact, where we need to get you on, because Fox News is like, you know, their ratings went in the shitter after. I mean, they're getting, and this is how corrupt it was. They took.
Let me ask you this, Joe. As it relates to this being won in the courts, one of the things I'm hearing, because you know what, I haven't been so glued to TV as I have since the time that Trump's gotten in office, because there's always shit going on, and part of me that just really likes that, and I'm addicted to that.
The drama.
To the drama, I guess, you know.
So am I. I mean, that's why I date the women I do. But you know,
that's another story. Fuck. Hey, but my question is this: okay, they're going to fight it in the courts, but what I'm hearing is that, you know, you're going to have some pretty concrete evidence you know, you just can't say, well, there's 500 ballots or 500,000 ballots over here that were post-dated. You have to have hard evidence.
Yes,
So
they do.
how are they going to do that when they've had people not letting those people in, those Republican pollsters or whatever, to oversee that? How in the fuck are they going to do that?
Here's how. Pam Bondi and Rudy Giuliani 2 hours ago, they just won a lawsuit in Pennsylvania. So they will be behind 6 feet behind every single person, and they're going to have to recount every ballot that has gone through now.
Okay, now, but what about prior to now?
So prior to now, they've had a lot of people. There's a lot of what we call alternative media, like Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, who had a person who's high up in the Michigan State Party admit that they had people that they were told by the UPS to have people come in and postmark their ballots. They burned Trump ballots that were for Trump, and there's going to be proof coming out of that. They have in Nevada, they had a lady who went up to vote this morning in Las Vegas, or sorry,
I saw that
Tuesday, Tuesday. I sent you that video.
Yeah.
And what happened was they sent out in Nevada 17 ballots to different houses, and her ballot was turned in with a Biden signature.
Really?
In California, in Long Beach, California, there's a video of an official burning ballots and throwing them in the trash that were for Trump in Long Beach.
Charlie, you're gonna say something. I can tell.
You guys think the ballots are getting messed with? Just a simple yes.
Oh yes, definitely. There's no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if he wins, then what? The ballots weren't messed with?
No, not at all.
If he wins, you still think they're messed with?
President Trump, so it's going to probably go to the Supreme Court.
Of course not.
Because they called. Yeah.
Hold on, Joe. I'm trying to get Charlie straightened out.
Wait, I don't think you mean what you're trying to say.
What do you mean?
You're biased?
Of course I am.
So if he
like when my kid's playing in a baseball game and I'm a fucking ump, and if he's going from second to third, he gets a call. He gets the benefit of the fucking doubt.
So you are saying what I think. If he does win, then none of the ballots were messed with.
I'm not going to say that none of the ballots were messed with, because that'd be saying that everything's 100%.
We can't say that 100%, but what we could say is this. What you could say is this to answer the question. If you look at Michigan,
margin of error, but yeah, I think there's more than that now.
Okay. If you look at
I don't have any concrete evidence, Charlie. Yeah. Hold on, Joe. Hold on, Joe. I don't have any concrete evidence, Charlie. What about you, Cara? Cara doesn't know what to say. Go ahead, Joe. She's fucking dumb.
Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, if you look at Michigan Thursday night, Tuesday night, President Trump had a 400,000 lead, something like that in Michigan. Now, 4 hours later, they go to sleep at 8 a.m. and magically every single ballot that came through is for Joe Biden.
Yeah, I heard that.
Every single ballot.
Not one was for Trump. Yeah,
that no one voted for Trump, but every single ballot is for Joe Biden. I mean, if you're going to cheat, at least do it in an intelligent way. Be a little bit smart about it. Here's the equivalent. Okay, the Natural Mr. Olympia is happening next week in Las Vegas. Okay, and and me and Cara win our divisions, but we didn't show up to the fucking event. How is that? But Denny Keikos comes out and goes, the winner is Cara Hicks in the bikini division, but she wasn't on stage competing, but she beat out 10 other people. I show up in the men's bodybuilding. Now, next year, Team Serious Growth, we're going to be there. And Leo's taking us there, and we're going to be there. But that's another story. But this year, we're not there. Okay, it's like they held the Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh, and they announced Leo's the winner, and he competed last in 2011 there. It doesn't work.
Okay.
So they're having, in Wisconsin, there's more ballots right now that they called for Joe Biden. There are more ballots that they have Biden winning on than they have registered voters in the state of Wisconsin. They don't even have that many voters.
I think he inceptioned you guys.
What does that mean? Hold on, Joe. I'm trying to get. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to get clarification. What does inception mean?
You like plant something in someone's head. Before this started, so me and you are gonna go. We're gonna run a mile. Let's win. But before we start, Cara's voting for me. She's cheering for me. But I'm like, oh, my leg doesn't feel that good.
So you're setting me up.
So if I lose, she's like, well, his leg didn't feel that good. You get what I'm saying?
So that takes away from my win.
Yes. did that.
Who did that?
Yeah, who
Trump.
did that?
Before
how did
this
he
all
do that?
started, he was like, "Oh, the ballots are gonna get fucked with and everything, and you bias people."
Me?
Wait, but there's actually proof of it. Like, I mean, I
But he
just
was
saw
right.
the
He
other
knew it.
day of a guy asking the girl. He was like, "What just happened?" She's like, "They just gave me a Sharpie, and they made me do it with a Sharpie."
Me and you can make that video right now.
Not with the background of the voters right
We
there.
can. People do stuff on social media all the time that you see 10 seconds of a clip, and then later on you find out, oh, that was all.
And I will say this: a lot of the times, like,
I'm not saying I don't.
you don't have to
agree or
capitulate.
disagree. Yeah, I'm
You
just
don't have
saying
to
I always
capitulate,
like, let me throw in a wrench.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
One of the things that's pretty interesting because perception is reality. Basically.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know that when they're doing stuff like on some of these news stations, because I've seen enough news, I can tell that they've taken certain clips
Mhm,
and it's out of context,
mhm.
but they put it in a certain loop with other clips that make it look a certain way. It's very dishonest,
Mhm.
but it goes on all the time. It's hard to know what to believe.
I'm not saying I believe that. I just like thinking of other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always have to think both ways.
And it's
not
really
straight.
hard to really understand what the truth is, and that's part of the problem. I think that in my mind, I think that first of all, the only way to find out and get close to the truth is to enthusiastically research, but who the hell has time for that? You know, to get some what the truth is. Or if there's something that's being said more often, but that's not true necessarily. It's a tough deal, you know. Anyway, before we wrap up, Joe, I wanted to tell you something and see how you feel about this. Cara did not vote this year.
I thought you did.
What?
Cara did not vote this year.
Really?
Cara, let me say it again, Joe. Cara did not vote this year.
Why?
I don't know. Were you afraid to go to the poll, Cara?
I was scared that I was gonna get attacked.
Can you believe that?
Well,
Speechless again.
no,
Second time.
no.
I'm doing that to you a lot.
How about you, Charlie? Did you vote?
This is the first year I didn't.
Really?
Mhm.
Was it raining?
Was it?
It was such a stormy night.
What
So-
happened?
In the evening, I was like, I'm gonna go vote. Got off work, got out of my house. It was just snowing
Snowing.
like crazy. And then I looked and my car was on fire.
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't have a
And
problem.
then he got hit in the head with
I
a
don't-
frisbee,
I don't
and then a
necessarily-
dog attacked his
I don't
people.
necessarily have a problem if you make that choice not to vote, but then don't be that person that complains when shit doesn't go your way or you know,
You'll
like,
never
Yeah.
hear me complain,
that's cool.
promise.
I have no issue with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
exactly. That's
fine,
fine.
so I did vote.
She did not
I
vote.
would not do that to Trump.
Wow.
Cara, I want Leo. I knew that was bullshit because I follow Kara's posts on
I
Instagram.
know, you
That's
know
why
me.
Kara's fake
that's-
news.
You know me.
Kara's
way too
fake
much.
news.
So-
She's fake
So
news.
Cara was on the Trump train when she had friends and people actually yelling at her back at 16. She was on the Trump train. She was
Does that make you a martyr? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what words mean. I just say them with
it was,
conviction.
you know.
Anyway, hey Joe.
Yes.
Joe, it's been a while since I've seen you. I miss you, honey.
Well, I miss you too. And of course our third person in this whole thing, Tom Uzilla.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, when it came to this election, as we know, Tom is kind of he has a lot of background and issues, so I would send a lot of stuff through him and say, so I know you can't talk about your sources, Tom, but is any of this accurate? And he validated a lot
I'm
of
gonna tell you something about Musella. I'm sure that you'll agree. If I want anybody to protect my ass, I would go to Tom Musella. I really would. He's a bad motherfucker.
he
and
is.
even
Tom,
in-
or also, what about Dale Comstock? He's
Yeah.
Dale, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. And he's what makes him so devastating and deceptive is that he you wouldn't think it. He's so low key. He's mellow.
He is.
And the next thing you know, he takes your fucking head off. He's a bad
He
dude.
is, and I'll tell you a story for Cara and Charlie. This is a funny story. So Tom came to stay with us for the stroke thing back in 2017, and Tom's talking about this ad that he wrote. And he goes, "I'm reading this ad," and he goes, "I hear it's this guy who's old as dirt, who's this martial arts person." And then I realized it's a Fight Fast ad, and then I realized that they're talking about me. And you know what Leo said? He goes, "Tom, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't write that ad. That was Bob Pierce, 100%. I had nothing to do with it on my end, and I can't believe that he said that you're an old as dirt and a guy who's not intimidating, because so Leo was 100% protecting himself, but that's what we admire, Leo.
Absolutely. Anyway,
if the building's gonna burn, it was.
I'm going first. Fuck you all. I'm gonna leave first. I'm sure about that. I've done it before with my first wife. We had a situation where, there was somebody that was like coming in. It took off. I said, "You fend for yourself. I'm gone."
What happened at your house?
Is at my house.
Are we talking about the back?
Yeah.
That was on somebody on the side fence. I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gone." Yeah, I got to protect myself first. Come on now. Is that narcissistic?
Yeah. When was this?
I'll tell you something, Leo. This is what's scary. I think.
But seriously, Cara didn't vote.
Oh my gosh.
Cara voted.
Joe knows me way too well.
She doesn't complain. She doesn't complain. Go ahead, Joe. What were you going to say?
Cara would walk on glass to vote for President Trump. Now, if it was, Bush or somebody like that, maybe not. But, for President Trump,
she'll walk on glass for him.
Yes.
Yes.
And Tom Muzilla would walk on hot coals, and he's done it before in seminars.
Yes, he has.
I think I'm about to do that too. I think we're all going to do that eventually.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
That's going to be the serious growth. Let me tell you, President Trump is the original serious growther. I'm going to say it here. Even maybe more so than Leo.
He is.
He is the original. He is the epitome of serious growth. And that's of what the serious growth ideology is. The Trump ideology and the serious growth ideology are one and the same.
Right. I'm a palm tree in the storm. I stand alone.
Exactly. We are the ones, listen, I took shit for supporting Trump, and in the 90s I took shit for being a serious growther before then. That's what molded me for this
that's why we would walk on fire for each other. You're a loyal fan, and I'm one of them. Anyway.
Perfect willingness.
Perfect willingness.
Had an idea a year ago. He said, we need to have a serious growth jihad. Now, the serious growth jihad is you go into a gym, you see fake trainers around, you might have to shoot up the place, but you know what? In the name of serious growth, I am taking down this.
Yes. We must
serious growth hat at the same time.
We have to get them off the streets, Joe.
That is it. That is it. Leo said, we're going to go to, and here's the thing, because we know Nora Reniso, I'm going to show up at a gym that's a fake gym. I'm going to get in there with my Fight Fest.
Yes. We can call it a friendly protest, and we'll be fine.
A friendly protest.
It's a friendly protest. It's a friendly protest. Anyway, Joe, we're going to have to skedaddle.
All right.
So listen, nice talking to you. I mean, obviously you and I are constantly on the texting and talking to each other.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you. It's been a while.
Nice talking with you, Cara. And we're all going to have to get together and do an in-person Fishbowl and bring on our friend Tom Muzilla and let him weigh in on this.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, I guess until next time, huh?
All right. Upward and onward.
Onward and upward, baby.
Upward.
See you, Joe.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.